you ready to go deep? Really deep? Let's take a hard look at how things work. It's time to uncover insights and knowledge that few people know. It's time to take a deep dive.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stoyan, and I'm streaming live here from Maribor, the home of Podim conference. I hope you already enjoyed the conference and you had some inspirational sessions you listened to. And we're continuing right now with the exciting session. I can't wait to welcome my guest from one of the leading banks really in the region. So I would like to invite here to the stage our wonderful guests, Tolga Yufteri, Alexander Badak Turk, and Aytak Ayodin from Nova KBM. Guys, welcome you here on stage. It is great to have you.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Thanks.
You?
Oh, it's beautiful. I have a person who's bringing me coffee here, so I'm in good hands.
Same
Yeah.
here.
Great.
It's sunny day in Maribor also.
Yes, exactly. So, guys, the session we're going to be covering right now is about with digitization and robotic process automation towards excellent user experience. First of all, I'm very excited to hear banks talking about this kind of stuff. Seems like you guys are doing a lot of great things in the area of digitization and innovation. And I want to hear from you, maybe starting with you, Aytak, about robotic process automation. First of all, for the audience that doesn't know, what does that mean? And why is that important for you and your processes?
Okay. We hire robots. They're coming from Elon Musk, and we just like put them in front instead of people. That's how we do the robotic process automation. No, I'm kidding. So, hi everyone. I would like to thank all of you for dedicating your time to our session. I hope you will get some valuable insights and information. And also big thanks to the organization team. In a year with many challenges, Podim organization team has done a fantastic job and get us all together here today, even virtually, but it's very successfully. So I want to thank all of you. We at Nova KBM, we are, as the bank, is a proud sponsor of this Podim event. We really understand and value the potential of this event because we have done this and we got partners 2-3 years ago, and we're still having these connections and leveraging these connections. So it's very important for us. And I hope many of you will feel the same after all the agenda is exhausted. So coming back to your question, I'm just going to give you the broad approach that we have, and then I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Alexandra, who knows this thing from bottom up and who built things with her teams and with the support of external parties in the last 2 years. And she will tell us how we did this journey, where we come at this point. So we are living in a very competitive and fast-changing age. And many different challenges coming. The name is changing. It's sometimes Corona. It's sometimes this trade wars between big nations. Many things coming, but this won't change. We will always have big challenges, and that's why at Nova KBM we are searching for and building efficient and effective ways of doing business. It sounds very simple, but it's not. It has many dimensions and it's very complex. Very high level, you need to align processes, technology, people, services. So everything has to change regularly and in harmony to adapt. So this is what we are thriving for. And what I can say in the last 2-3 years, we have done quite a lot. And we are one of the strongest members in the forest. So we're one of the strongest predators, I would say. But especially on the technology side, banks have many advantages, but also many disadvantages. Advantages like investments, the funds, the connections, the existing clients, the corporate governance. So we have many advantages, but we have many disadvantages as well. Too bureaucratic, too big, slow, inflexible, old legacy systems, very hard to integrate with many things. So When we built our technology strategy 2-3 years ago, we looked all of these weaknesses and strengths, and we focused on what we need to do, and we defined a very clear roadmap. And RPAs is one of the critical elements, parameters, and pillars in this evolution, I would say, because transformation, I don't believe we are doing transformation. Let me be very frank. We are doing evolution. If you look at the history, which we will get into details in the next session with Tolga, this digitalization, it's not transformation. It is an evolution, and we are adapting to this regularly. So coming back to RPAs, it's one of the critical pillars for us. And what we did is we adapted our people, processes, and technology platform. Again, as I said, in harmony. So this is aligned with the business strategy to ensure that we use the RPAs with maximum capacity, maximum efficiency, and lowest cost possible. So we will show in a minute, in a chart, that's how we achieved from, like, we started with 0 in 2019, it went up to 6, and then in 2 years' time, we quadrupled our robots and services covered by robots. So this is how we achieve this. It's not only you have the technology and you deploy it. You need to train your people within the organization so they understand what robot is. You need to have a process, set of rules, how you prioritize and how you select the robots, because there is a big dilemma. Do you want to do it with robots, or do you want to do it with your native coding, native platforms? It's a big dilemma, because sometimes it's much better to do with robots. Sometimes it's much better to do natively, like integrated solutions. So we are evaluating this with our people on both sides. And also another important thing is we have capabilities built inside and also outside. We have vendors who partners. I don't like to call our partners vendors. They're partners, and we work with them very well because they understand us. We open our doors. It's like a collaboration rather than just like getting one-way information. So that's one of the things I want you to take away today. If you're a startup or a company who is willing to be a partner to a bank, make sure you understand the holistic picture and you become like a partner, and through a two-way communication. Don't expect us to tell you what to do. Come also with proposals. That's how we did this RPA evolution in the last 2 years. So these are the high-level messages I will give, and now I'm going to give the word to Alexandra, and happy to discuss the questions after. Alexandra.
Thank you. So yeah, what we did in the last 2 years is a pretty amazing journey or evolution, as Aytaç called it. And I would just like to show you one picture of it, just so that you understand the dynamics. This is what we did. We started in 2019 from 0. And in April this year, we are already at around 30 robots. At the end of this year, we plan to be above 40. We already have so many in development that we're definitely going to even supersede that goal. But what's important is we started as a pilot project. We built it throughout the organization by raising the awareness of our colleagues, of our teams, to actually be able to do a lot more stuff with a robot than by using traditional methods. And this is what happens. The team actually adopts the new technology with open hands once they realize this is going to be something that will help them. In 2020, we did one step more. We trained internally a team to be actually our own development team. And we are now doing internal development of robots as well. So we are using our partners, we are using the knowledge that they have for more complex operations, but we're actually also doing it ourselves. This gives us enormous flexibility. The speed of development, you would not believe. It's even faster than a startup. It's very dynamic. And we have the good fortune to work with some really good people on our partner side who help us also determine whether our solutions are going to be viable or not, and whether the processes that we choose to automate are going to be viable or not. One more thing I would like to show you, and then I'm going to stop with the boring presentation, is the things that we can actually do in a bank very quickly. And being a bank, this is counterintuitive. Having the ability to develop new processes and robotize them really quickly goes through a set of steps. The top of the picture shows how we did it the first time. And then we continue to do this in a cycle. So we identify new processes, we examine them, we actually do a very quick and agile development in stages. But the most important thing in testing, deployment, and then usage is the engagement of the team. Once you have the team on board, they understand and they actually are happy to use the new technologies. New ideas just come up like mushrooms in the rain, honestly. We cannot develop stuff quickly enough. This is how frequent and this is how well our teams actually are getting to know the robots, and there's some really, really good quality ideas. Having different teams using them gives them the independency to actually work separately. And this gives us an enormous flexibility in development and deployment. One more thing that's going to help us moving along is the monitoring process. So we developed a really cool tool to monitor our robots. This is how every robot owner, every process owner, every department head can monitor how well the processes are going and actually how much time and money we are saving by using this technology. So that's a very, very short summary from my side as well. I'm also happy to take any questions that you may have.
I want to just maybe add one more thing, if you allow me. The question was, what are robots? These are just like applications that run as like a trained person. So what we leverage, this is not a new technology, by the way. It's been here for the last, as far as I know, 17, 18 years, used industry-wide. So what we did is we used the latest versions of those and look at where we can employ these applications and train them and monitor them. And that's what those dashboards are showing. Once you implement it, you also have to monitor it because it's like a person. If you train it, if there is some change, you need to keep training that. So it's not like one time you implement a robot and you let it run. It's not like that. So you need to build internal capabilities supported by the external capabilities. And they're fantastic. They don't need food. They don't need anything else. They just need to work with the proper training. Any questions? Back to you.
Back to me down here. So thank you so much, guys, for sharing. And first of all, I love what you said. It's not transformation, it's actually evolution. And you guys presented some interesting things about the process, but I'm actually curious, what does it take to really create such an evolution? For me, it looks like so much more work. It looks much like a management commitment that this is an important priority for us as an organization. So could you maybe share what it actually really takes for your organization to take on this massive project of evolution?
Let me just comment and then let my colleagues also comment. The most important starter, I'm not saying the most important factor, but the starting factor is the top management agreement, alignment. So if that is not there, you're doomed because it becomes like a siloed initiative coming from one of the departments. If they are supported, it goes to a certain point, but it doesn't become like a very high priority item in the organization. So what we did was we aligned at the management board level. We have 5 members in the management board. We aligned what we need to do in the next 2-3 years, like very clearly. Of course, you cannot name, we're going to do this process in robots, this process, that digitalization evolution step, but you put the high level KPIs. We will look at the most cumbersome, most manual operations, and we will analyze, do the feasibility and bring it to the table if it's feasible to do an RPA. That's the agreement we had, and it becomes like a proper high priority item. Then comes the budgeting. Once you align on the top level, the budget doesn't become a big issue. Plus, then it becomes very important to put proper people, right? Leadership, like we did in our case, and we keep tracking of those regularly through different steering committees. So again, coming to my original speech, it sounds very simple. It involves people, process, products, technology, but having all these aligned and then also in harmony, moving in the same direction, it's more art than science, to be frank, and we have been doing it very well. I don't know, Alexander, what do you think?
I absolutely agree with you. And I think that without the support of the management board, and especially Aytaç, who basically was the guy who was pushing for the robots in the first place in 2019 with this idea, we were the ones who were able to execute this kind of project in such a well managed way. But as Aytaç said, it's very important to have the tone from the top. So the support of the board, the money to do it, it's not trivial. But once you start and you keep on following up the results and showing the savings that we are getting from this kind of process, and as you said, it is a lot of investment. It's people's investment. It is some financial investment, but the benefits are so huge that it really pays off. And I'm not just talking in terms of money. I'm talking in terms of also the buy-in from the team. Once you have the support from the board, you can start, but you can't continue without the support of your team. So once the team actually realizes this is something that is going to help them work better, faster, and free up their time for creative and more complex processes that they need to run in their workplace, come up with new ideas, this kind of falls together. But every piece of this puzzle is important.
I absolutely love what you guys are sharing, and I gotta say, I'm super excited seeing people from the banking sector so passionate about creating this evolution. I can just sense it in your voice, and you mentioned team, and I want to give the word maybe to Tolga to also join the discussion. And how much culture plays a role? And I just want to give a context before preparing for this session. I was looking at the webpage of the bank, and there are some clearly defined values. And I just want to ask you, Tolga, like how much the culture of an organization plays a role in having a smooth process of this evolution?
Yeah, I mean, like Aytaç mentioned, actually, Stoyan, it starts from the management board. I mean, with Nova KBM by the end of 2017, and since then, for whatever we try to bring to the management board for these changes, even if it's totally out of the box, it's positively approached. Besides, while I was going to talk about the digital evaluation, which Aytaç mentions, not transformation, which I agree also, it also starts as a one team in the company. I'm the director or the head of the digital banking. However, it's not only the digital banking that does it. It's with IT, operations, product teams, all of them. These are the results of working together with all these teams, especially also the third-party companies we're working with. We call them as partners. We have strong partners in this digital transformation period. So I would say the culture is quite critical in this role. If you don't establish the basement, starting from the management board as well as the teams together, I don't think that this success would come. And I call it a really good success in digitalization point of view. I don't think it would come so quickly as we had the results in this recently.
And I want to follow up with a question regarding the culture, and specifically the last 14 months have forced many companies and organizations to transform the way they work. Like many people working from home, we have to start communicating differently. And I just want to ask you if you can guys share maybe some successful strategies, because there's many companies out there that are struggling to keep the team motivated. There's many mental health problems arising. So what are some successful strategies maybe or advice you can give to those organizations out there in the current situation?
I can take that question. First of all, there's always this technology enablement which was needed for working from home. So our strategy addressed that long time. We didn't know, of course, Corona was coming, but we knew that this remote would be a hot topic. Again, coming back to our strategy 2-3 years ago, when I joined the bank, we sat with all the management board members, we sat with all the business units, critical directors, and all directors that are using technology. And we set out a 3-year plan. I'm not a big fan of 5-year and more plans. 3 to 5 years is the horizon that you can at least foresee to some level and then plan accordingly. 3 years, I think, more accurate. Outside 3 years, especially with this fast changing agile age, it's not possible and it's not really realistic. So in that 3 years time frame, we put all the critical elements in technology platform to ensure that we can accommodate new trends like remote working or these kind of integration with the third parties, also open banking. Those kind of things were built into our IT strategy and also business strategy. But also, in addition to technology part of the puzzle, it's the human, which you said some people were depressed, some people were not used to this remote working. So what we did, I think, as the whole bank, we created a very good environment and we adapted to this very fast. We had this virtual events and it was like literally virtual event for the whole bank, smaller groups, like hundreds, sometimes tens of people. We kept meeting and we started addressing if there are issues. For instance, we're one of the first banks in the country and also in the region to adopt cultural rules for Corona times, working from home. So we published that a couple of months ago. And it's very clear now how to set up meetings, how to respect each other's times, because when it's digital, it's so easy. It brings some efficiency, but also it creates a lot of stress on people. So we address these by talking to people, listening to them, and then incorporating those feedback into our principles and the way we do business, not from the technology-wise or process-wise, but also human side of it. So that's how I think we are quite healthy, especially if you, I don't know, most of you don't know, but we did huge transformations. These are transformations, and I can easily say they are transformations because we did core banking replacement in 2019. And also we acquired almost equal size bank. Now we're one of the biggest banks, sometimes the biggest, sometimes the second big, but we acquired almost equal size bank, which was called Abanka, into Nova KBM, and we created a very strong, very robust bank in 2020. So we did this kind of transformations in addition to Corona challenge. That's how we handled these challenging times. Technology, processes, but also the human aspect. We took care of it very well.
Yeah, actually, I want to add one thing. The merging of especially last year, two banks took place in this lockdown period. And yeah.
So I touch and Tolga, I just want to thank you so much for sharing this. And I hope we can actually inspire more leaders, more organizations out there to look after their people, because again, these are unprecedented times. And we are yet to discover what will be the long-term consequences on the mental health, on all other kind of things. So thank you for leading the trend and actually showing by example that we need to, first and foremost, of course, we want to automate robots and make processes smooth, but it's all about people at the end of the day, right? It's customers, it's our team we need to take care of. And talking about actually users and user experience, this is maybe a question to Alexandra. Alexander, what do you think are some of the preferences, changes when it comes to user experience? What are some of the trends? What do users prefer and want to more of in the recent 2-3 years, let's say?
Well, I would definitely say it's a move to digital, it's a move to convenience, it's a move to having everything that you need at the tip of your fingers, which is why this has been a very, very huge push for us also in COVID times, because this was something that actually pushed us even harder to be available for our clients without them having to visit our offices, our branches, and trying to give them as many services as we can from the comfort and the safety of their homes. But it's not just the young generations anymore. It's actually everyone. You have 70-year-old people learning how to use electronic banking. You have very young people trying to buy stock and bonds and crypto online. So I think it's become an increasingly normal digital experience for everyone. And we should really look at our businesses through those eyes and say, this is a very important channel. Everyone should nurture and nourish, coming from the financial industry to retailers to car salesmen, anyone. So a lot of virtual presence and a lot of options for the clients to use those services and to purchase those goods through these new innovative experiences that we have.
Thank you so much, Alexandra, for sharing this. And I want to wrap it up with the final question in the last 2 minutes that we have, and whoever wants to take it. And you guys share that you have partners, right? You don't have vendors, which I think is amazing. And I know there's a lot of startups, a lot of smaller companies that want to collaborate with innovative institutions like yours. How should they reach out? What is the best way for somebody with a great idea to reach out and potentially get into a partnership?
I can take that one. I mentioned a little bit, but since there are so many things happening, the competition of banks are expanding. Before it was mainly the banks competing each other. Now it's e-commerce companies, fintechs, and this payment processors, even the grocery stores. Walmart started, at least at some point, tried to get a banking license. So it's spreading all over the place, and it's getting more and more competitive. The only way we can survive is partnership with the right parties, because we cannot build everything in-house. It's impossible. It's against evolution. It's against everything. So what I strongly at least suggest startups and companies that are looking for partnership in the banking ecosystem, they need to work with the banks in a two-way communication. They need to just come and listen first, not like trying to sell products. Oh, let me sell you this because no, don't start with your value proposition. Listen to the bank and go do your research. Do some holistic view, because if you come and say, oh, I'm going to improve your, I don't know, onboarding video part, this is my product. It doesn't help me much because I can get it from anybody. It's commodity. Tell me, okay, I looked at the end-to-end process, this online onboarding. I can help you with video. I can reduce your fraud rates, false positives, whatever. And also I can improve the efficiency, and then I can shorten the time to 3 minutes instead of 10 minutes. I checked 5 other banks and it's 10 minutes. I have a solution that will reduce it to 3 minutes. That kind of value propositions are valuable to us. Not like I will solve this small part and that other small. It is not valuable, and I really don't want to waste my time. I'm very being frank and open. So they need to do some homework, and they need to, most importantly, listen to us. Come and listen, and then do some brainstorming and collaborative work, not like pushing one way or the other.
Aytaç, thank you so much for sharing this. All the founders, all the startups, all the small companies out there, it's not about going and pitching your thing. Do your homework and make sure you are up there to create value. Listen first, and just, it's about win-win, right? It's about creating this communication. Guys, it's been such a pleasure having you. Thank you for sharing all these insights. Thank you for being friends and partners of Podim. It's just a blessing having you here. Thank you once again for being with us.
Same here.
Thank you.
And everybody.
Good luck.
Have a good day.
Thank you. And now we are going to be moving to the launch. There's a little break here, so stay with us, guys.